Hello and welcome to the Madison podcast, episode number whatever, I don't even know. My name, as you should know by now, is Ben Lavender, New York's favorite British mortgage broker. I have some very special guests that I've wanted on the show for a long time. Ashley and Michael Uva of DeLux Real Estate.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay,
Ready.
We're going to go over everything, private, secrets, you know, everything about the business that you don't want people knowing that you do, how you snag so many deals. We're going to go over everything. But seriously, let's start from the beginning. The way that we like to do this is literally start from the beginning. Tell our audience, which, by the way, is a mixture of people. It's actually primarily people in the business, realtors, loan officers, home inspectors, attorneys, as well as people who are potentially looking to even join the business. So that's what everyone likes to hear. And I'll just let you take it away, Ash. How did you get into the business? When did you get in? What made you go into real estate of all places? Because I find that most people don't grow up saying to themselves, I want to be a realtor when I grow up. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does that.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't know. It always interested me. I mean, before I did real estate, I did interior design for Caligaris.
That's quite an advantage.
Yeah, my father always told me from when I was younger to get my real estate license. He's an investor, so I kind of just like blew him off. And then once I got older, you know, working that 9 to 5, you want that freedom. So that's what I did, and here I am.
And how long ago was that?
5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 9 to 5.
Got my broker's license.
What were you doing
6
as the 9 to 5?
months ago. Oh. Huh?
What 9 to 5 were you doing at the time?
I was doing accounting.
Okay, so quite a difference. I did accounting too. So I was very, very bad at it.
But
But
same,
yeah.
I'm terrible at math.
So-
I'm so bad at math.
Actually, okay, well,
Yeah,
actually,
so bad.
let me retract. I am amazing
The
at
wor-
math.
the
I'm
worst
a
at
mortgage
math.
broker. Math is my strong suit. You're in good hands with us.
Calculators.
Okay, so you're doing accounting. So, I mean, something must have happened, right? There must have been a shift or a jump that made you say, let's try real estate. What was that?
Interior design.
Okay. And then just what? So you took the tests, you studied, and then you joined a
I
brokerage.
was with Keller Williams.
Okay, as many
Yeah.
people have been.
Actually, before I even joined Keller Williams, I always had a vision to open my own brokerage.
Yeah.
So that was kind of always in the back of my head. So finally, after my son, I kind of just woke up one morning and was like, you know, I'm going to get my broker's license and I'm just going to open my own business. And I did that.
And lo and behold, here you are.
Yeah.
And Mike, what about you? How did you jump in?
So I have a background in architecture. While I was in school for architecture, I had a business. I owned a florist, so I kind of knew what it was like to be my own boss. That being said, I had sold that business to pursue another business, and in the meantime, I had a family friend who was in real estate. She worked for Century 21, a little bit older. I know it's kind of like they say where all the older people work.
No comment.
Not supposed to be saying these things.
Yeah.
So I ended up joining Century 21. It was going great. I mean, obviously, first year as an agent, you know, it's not easy. So this was pre-COVID. This is three years ago now, maybe going on 4 actually. Just looking through, trying to get into social media, I actually found Ashley. DM'd Ashley trying to just get some real estate advice, trying to get coffee.
I see.
We ended up hitting it off, and she talked me into joining Keller Williams with her. Lo and behold, we started a team. Let's just say the team didn't work out because I didn't hold up my end of the team. Ashley kind of did everything. She, you know, she's destined to be a boss.
I was gonna say. She's
So
a boss.
she's destined to be a boss. Where obviously, you know, it was her dream to do the brokerage. You know, she wanted to own her own thing. It was clear as day that she was made to be a boss. So I kind of just followed suit, and now I work for her, which is
Yes.
quite ironic.
So
you know,
how is
working for
that,
your wife is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's that dynamic as
How is that
husband and
dynamic?
wife?
I
Yeah.
feel like this is a really.
How is the dynamic, Mike? Are you having a good time, Mike?
So Ashley's a stickler for paperwork.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
No,
she
I'm
is.
not. No,
So
I'm not.
I've never been good with the back end of real estate. I'm a people person. I could talk, but I don't like paperwork. I just like, okay, yeah, I'll get to it. So when we were on a team, I did all the talking, and you know, I was like, we played like good cop, bad cop, for instance. So I was the nice guy. I came in.
When he says that.
Yeah, I came in, we talked, blah, blah, blah. I got people interested, and then Ashley would like drop the hammer. Okay, so we're putting this much down, we're doing this, this, and this, and that's what would kind of get all our deals done. At, you know, during COVID, you had to come in higher, you know, the higher down payments.
Significantly.
Yeah, and I wasn't I would say, like, the person to say, okay, you need to put $100,000 over. Ashley would come in and see $100,000 over, and they would be like, yes, that's what we're doing. Ashley said it, that's what we're doing, and that kind of worked out well. But yeah, so being at home and then dealing with her now as the boss, it's like, did you do your paperwork? I don't see it in the system. I don't see it in the system. You're gonna get fined. You're not gonna find me. You're my wife. Like, that's, if you're finding me, we have issues. Like,
I think that Ashley would find you. Honestly.
No, she threatened me last week. It's funny you say that because I have a deal that's about to close, and she literally said, "Where's your paperwork? I'm going to find you." New York
State watches podcast.
No.
Eventually they will, I'm sure.
So obviously I have to get better at that, but being at home, you know, it's not easy to escape like the priorities of answering to your boss, as in a sense of like, she's right there all the time.
Yeah, but also you're not a salaried employee.
Of course. So it's easy,
He
then
lives in fear of you.
That's bottom line. You know, like I said before, she was destined to be a boss. She's also a little bit scary.
But you have to be. You're in that position. You have to be a leader.
Actually say that. That's actually.
I was scared for the first time in my life last night.
Oh,
she literally threatened my life.
Mike has said that to me on the phone several times, Ash. Yeah.
You're not supposed to say these things.
It's so funny because he tells me
not supposed to say these
I had to
things.
snitch. I had to snitch. But it's with love, I'm sure, right, Mike?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, all love. So talk to us about. I mean, we kind of talked about this before, actually, but how is it running a brokerage which you've had for 6 months now as a mother, and you've got another one on the way? Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
So how's that been for you? Because that's not easy.
It's not. It's a lot, I will say, but I don't regret anything of it. Having my own brokerage, and not even just that, but just kind of like being a realtor in general, like where you can do your own schedule. Like I can take my son out for the day. So I love that. I mean, when you do that, it does catch up to you later on or like the next day or whatever, but I make it work.
In terms of like just catching up on things that you have to do, or it's like physically demanding? What do you mean by that?
Yes and no. I'm the type of person where I can't put something off. Like it's always going to be in the back of my head. Yeah. Hence why we didn't work together as a team. I like to do things right away. So yes and no. A little bit both.
So okay. So you've found the balance.
Yeah.
And what about?
I'm still finding it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still finding it.
I like that.
So I don't know what's gonna happen when there's another
real.
one.
We'll find out.
Just have to start all over.
Into daycare.
Yeah. No, yeah. I know somebody.
Yeah. So and Mike, what about you?
That is a huge thing, by the way, because I can kind of just like go in and like take him whenever I want.
Yeah, she has that.
Easy.
Yeah.
It makes things easy for you too.
Yeah, it does.
Somewhat.
So,
and what about I mean, obviously you're not carrying, right?
Yeah.
But you're still you're a father, and you're heavily involved, and you're running multiple business ventures in addition to being a realtor. I mean, how has it changed your life?
So, I mean, real estate, obviously making your own schedule is one thing. You know, it helps you kind of do that. You know, it gives you the opportunity to run multiple businesses if you want to do that, or possibly be a parent. You know, being able to kind of justify taking my son to like a splash park or the park one day and then kind of making it up the next day with, you know, packing my schedule with showings or listing appointments, things like that. You know, it helps being a realtor, I guess, in a sense, because
you have the flexibility.
Yeah, exactly.
But you also have to have the discipline to get what you need to get done.
So I think that's where Ashley comes in, not only being my wife, but being my broker at home, which is nice because she holds me accountable. In the sense of that's what she kind of always did. That's why, not only do I love her, obviously I have to say that, but, working for Ashley, she doesn't just do that with me. She holds everyone accountable, which is nice. All her agents, we have a group chat. She checks in on everybody every week. It's always a constant flow of holding someone accountable just to continue to grow her business, which is great.
When I opened, I'm sorry to cut you off, but when I opened my brokerage, I kind of had a vision where...
Yeah, please tell us about that.
So I kind of took a little bit of everything and I merged it into one, and that's where DeLux Realty Group came in. So with that, I kind of took I took a whole bunch of agents' opinions on like what they wanted, what they didn't want. So that's why I know what to offer. I want everybody to succeed, so it's a lot easier to hold people accountable when you know what they actually really want.
Well, I feel
and what they're looking for and what they like, what they dislike.
How do you go about finding that though? Like what?
It sounds crazy, but I go off of energies.
That doesn't sound crazy. Doesn't sound crazy at all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that I can sense when somebody's lying to me. Michael can say otherwise because I tend to give people too many chances. But I kind of go, if we have the same mentality and we can connect and we can get along and they can get along with everyone else, then...
Is it a particular type of energy that you feel that you guys gravitate to?
Not necessarily.
I think I see
I'm learning now that, because I held off interviewing people for a while, and now, we're starting to recruit and I'm starting to bring people on, so I'm learning all these different personalities. And it's different because I know different personalities when you're working with clients, but working with agents, it's completely different. Yeah. So, no. I'm just looking for people who have the same mindset and want to succeed. Yeah,
which honestly isn't easy to find and I feel that you guys could speak to this better than I could, but when people enter, even the mortgage side too, even though the real estate side looks, and it is much more fun than mortgages, but they expect it to be like it is on TV, and it's, it's just easy and it's luxurious, but it's not that, and you feel like people get into the business and then they're smacked with reality.
Of course, especially newer agents, they come on and expect everything to just happen fast, so I make it very clear in the beginning, like, it's not like that. Like, you have to put in work. I guide them through everything that they need. Like, we do extensive training and like on our back end. So
what is the reaction? We make it realistic,
and you know what? Like, if it doesn't work for them, then it doesn't work for them. Like, that's okay, because I have some agents that they know what to expect and they know it's not like that. So
yeah, but their typical reaction though, it's like, because I feel sometimes when you give people, because it happens at least for me like once, twice a week, some random person calls me, is like, Ben, I want to join the mortgage business. It's like, you make it look so fun. It's like on social media. And I'm like, the whole day isn't recording like a silly reel that takes 5 seconds. The whole day is going over files and underwriting. It's not nearly as fun as it looks, though it is enjoyable. Like, do you find, because I find that when you give people that check, they become very, very against joining. Do you feel the same thing?
No, because part of the training that we do, it's mindset training also. So I feel like if you have the right mindset and you know what you're going into and that you expect to work and you have like all these things, because I also give them my situations that I'm going through with my clients so that they see it's not always like, like rainbows and unicorns. Yeah. So they do see that. It's different when they come across it themselves, but I'm kind of there to help guide them. Like, this isn't a big deal. Like, we can, look at the bigger picture at the end. So
yeah, so you give them that, this way they have an understanding.
That push, that motivation.
Yeah, but that's a very particular personality type though. Someone that has that discipline that can, I like to say, take punishment. If you want to join this business, you need to be able to take punishment.
Well, I'm very upfront. I'm very upfront. In the beginning, I'm very upfront. So
yeah. So okay, and have you found that over the course of, especially for newer agents, like when they get down, do they come to you like crying? Do you have a specific like words of encouragement? You must.
It depends on the situation.
I'm thinking there's a very specific story here that you don't want to tell. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I definitely learned the hard way, is in the sense of like learning that you have to do so much legwork. Because right before I joined Century 21, I may have had a background in architecture and business, but going into it, you see on TV, like you said, like $1 million listing. Oh, they made $200,000 on one deal. Like, I can do that, one deal a year.
Oh, easy.
But nobody realizes what it takes to get that deal, and the reputation you need and what legwork actually has to be done. The marketing, getting your name out there, things like that. As a first-time agent, I think that's extremely difficult, especially now that it's the market in the sense of real estate agents. There's so many of them. Going through the market shifts, you'll see a lot of the newer agents kind of back off, or the agents that did really good during COVID kind of start to pull back a little bit, because it's a tough business. If you don't ride out the waves, you don't last. And I think what Ashley is kind of saying and what she does with her training is that she prepares them for the waves, you know, so she shows them.
Bad, but I do prepare them for the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hope for the worst and
Exactly.
hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
And, you know,
and hope for the
again,
worst.
she does more than just mindset
To hope for
training.
the
You know,
worst.
it's all about, you know, saving for the next deal or marketing your money the right way. You know, obviously people have their own bills and things like that, but she tries to teach everyone.
Yeah, we do
Hey, like,
everything, like money-wise, like accounting, like
Really?
everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
She tries to do training in like every aspect of what can affect your real estate business, which is great.
Yeah, and the thing is that your entire life does shape your business. Every single aspect, your own financials, relationships, it all ties together into the business. So I'm assuming, like, you teach them how to basically optimize everything, which does not happen overnight. It takes time. It takes work.
Patience.
Yeah, a lot of patience.
Patience is
A lot of patience.
and patience. Patience.
A lot
on
of
your
patience.
side with them. Patience I'm sensing with each other, for sure. Maybe on one side more than the other. You know, we could get.
I think I'm the patient one. Let's just clear that
I
up.
think I'm the patient one.
Of course, that's usually how it goes.
It's funny. We're members to a beach club, and somebody the other day asked us, "Which one of you are the calmer, patient one?" And I looked at Ashley and I said, "Without a doubt, me." And Ashley almost choked on her drink, and she said, "No, me." And I was like, "Are we doing this just because?"
Said to me, "You look so down to earth. You look like you're the more patient one." And I was like, "I am. Thank you."
I have no comment.
I said, "Well, we know.
You guys are
We know.
equally a pleasure to work with. Equally, we love you guys. 50,
Like I said before, Ashley's the hammer."
Sometimes,
Okay.
look, but you need that hammer, and I think also what
But
you're
you would
saying
never
before,
know. You would never know.
No.
So.
You guys know. You guys know. I wanted to ask you about COVID actually, and how you've seen the market shift since, like, now we're coming out of COVID, or I think we're out of COVID with the exception of, like, I know 5 people who still don't leave their house. But how do you feel that it's affecting buyers, or forget COVID, but even the current market, rates going up, inventories kind of increasing, properties are a little bit slower. Like, what are you seeing in different behavioral patterns in buyers and sellers these days?
As far as sellers, they are expecting their house to go in the next couple of days. As far as us working on it, I mean, it's really just the marketing that you do, the phone calls that you make, who you know, who you reach out to. As far as buyers, I feel like buyers are actually trying to rush to buy and close their contracts and get everything in contract because they don't want their rates going up. So it's working for me.
Yeah, I mean, for Ashley, it's working. For me, on the other hand, I mean, what I've been telling my buyers is, even though the rates are high, it's still a good time to buy because I feel that there's not as many buyers, so you're not getting that over asking. You're not getting the 100,000 over asking right now because nobody's really could afford that. So what I'm telling my buyers is that, hey, listen, there's going to be more inventory, and now you're going to have less competition. You're not going to have that over ask. You're not going to have that bidding war. So yes, the mortgage rates may be high and your monthly payment will be high, but now you're going to get the house that you love, that you didn't get outbidded for. And in a couple months, 12 months, 18 months, when the market shifts again, you can refinance.
It's 100% true.
And that's really where I'm
It
trying
is,
to.
Also, as far as buyers, buyers who know real estate, like the older ones, not
that know or think they know.
Some both, but there's like the history of the interest rates. Like even though the interest rates are higher right now, that's only because I feel like we got so spoiled with what they were during COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you look at like the past, they kind of know that, like they see that, and like my uncle bought his house for what he was telling us the other day for like 8% or something like that, and he just refinanced for like 2.3 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So the rates right now, like even though they seem high, they're really not. So people who like the buyers who are looking and know that history, it's so much easier for them.
Yeah, and they are going to come down.
Yeah,
exactly.
Of course.
Not
yeah.
to
I mean, they're coming down already, aren't they?
Over the past couple of weeks, they have improved by, depends who you ask, by about 0.25% to 0.5%, and it's helping, but it's not like
it's
2%
of course
where it was before. But now that we're, depending on who you ask, we're in a recession, or we'll be officially in or out in the recession, but the data will show in a week or two from now. And then rates are going to come down. So we'll see. We think that rates are actually going to go down toward the end of this year or the beginning of next year. But home prices are going to continue to appreciate, not at the same rate they have been the past couple of years, because it's been like 10,
dramatic.
11%
It's been dramatic.
each year. It's absolutely insane. But those people can always, like you said, they'll refinance out, and we're giving them that strategy. Of course, we want to make sure that they're comfortable with the payment now. Like, I don't think that you should only buy a house if you're comfortable with what the rate will be in a year from now, because you never know what's going to happen. We're not telling people 100% guaranteed, because you never know. You never know. But I think realistically speaking, rates will come down. People will refi. I wanted to ask you about, speaking of like people with low rates, those people that are looking to sell currently, are you having issues finding or getting them to be motivated if they have a 2% rate currently and then they want to go and buy something else when they, after they sell and getting a higher rate? Awesome. Okay.
No,
well, again, speaking for herself.
Yeah. The question goes to both of you.
With me, these are also people who refinanced and got that lower rate or bought during that rate. So they knew the rates, what they originally were when they first purchased it. So, no.
I think as for me, the sellers that I am working with now, they're kind of skittish to moving fast. So whether they're getting offers or it's just not the right number, or they're kind of holding off on moving forward because they don't want to buy right now. So it's, their house is on the market, but they don't want to take it off. It's like such a torn battle between, do I take it off the market and wait because I can't afford to buy right now? Or do I have to look for somewhere else to live? Should I live with family? Or, I don't want to buy now. So what do I do with this property that I'm selling? So for instance, I have a seller now, was looking in the high $1 million range, but now since, the rates are higher. So if they were to sell, great. But what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? Because they can't afford that $1 million home now at a 6%, mortgage rate.
The buyers, so they're lowering their purchase price.
And I think that's where they're faced with now. So now they're faced with, do I lower my purchase price and still kind of move forward, or do I hold off? And we're getting offers, there may not be the right offer, but he's so skittish to kind of moving forward because he doesn't know where he's going to be next month, or if he should continue looking, and it's kind of causing me to slow down my business end because the sellers are hesitant, and that's kind of affecting me that way, where Ashley's getting a little lucky and, they're still moving forward for her, which is, I guess, luck of the draw at that
she's
point.
Probably using the hammer.
Exactly. I don't have the hammer. I have to, and it's funny because anybody that we've worked with, anybody that we were,
that's a great one.
Anybody that we worked with as a team, and I'm starting to feel like hurt by it. They've called her and not me to like either relist or rebuy, and it's like, okay, maybe I should be a hammer. That's and I'm like, we sharing these.
I was like, do you want to do this with me? And he was like, no. I was like, okay.
I don't listen. You don't get in the way of greatness. Like I just let her bloom. She could do that, and I'll do my own end, and I'll just be salty about it.
It's working. It's working out for you guys.
It's great. At the end of the day, we're both here to promote her business. We're both here to, grow her business. Yes, it's not my business, but at the end of the day, she's my wife, so I'm going to be supportive as I can. So
technically.
So technically, it's half my business. if we want to go down that route.
I didn't know that. Okay.
No, I'm saying if
there was no
marriage, there's no prenup involved. You know what I'm saying? No.
Nice.
I got lucky. Yeah. Listen, I struck gold.
That was strategy.
Listen, she wants half the daycare, she can have it. I want half the brokerage.
You saw the potential. You're like, no, we don't need a prenup.
Yeah, let's get coffee, aka I know where you're going. But so that's really what the goal is. So, if they're all going to her or it doesn't matter to me. It's as long as it's still funding the business, helping us grow or helping her grow, I should say. And then, down the line,
he knows where I see the brokerage in like a year from now, 5 years from now, and he has that same mindset too. Because if that is the case and he does want to get rid of the daycare or whatever he wants, he knows that it's like still, it's the same.
And where do you seeing the brokerage going over the next 1 to 5 years? What's the plan?
I'm going to keep that to myself.
Okay.
But we do have good news coming soon. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excited.
So that
next podcast.
Yeah, next episode 2.
Yeah, you can announce it. We'll do a big reveal. Okay, so I also wanted to ask you guys, just about general advice for buyers and sellers right now, because there is, as we've just been talking about, there's a market shift, right? So for those people that are, I mean, I know that we were talking about rates, but also in terms of those with that experience a lot of uncertainty in the market and they don't know what to do, what are you typically telling people, or what are even the most common, I wouldn't say objections, but issues that people are really giving you when it comes to buying or selling now, and what are you telling them to kind of keep them calm?
Clients that I was working with, as far as buyers, that we were going like very competitive, highest and best. Now that we are finally getting accepted offers, they're terrified, absolutely terrified. Like, they're like, is this real? Like, what do I do? Like, it's panic, but I kind of just guide them the same way as I do with my agents. Like, it's all normal,
Just keep them calm.
Yeah.
Just
Basically.
relax.
Like,
Yeah.
I take on the
Yeah.
stress, literally.
Shot tequila.
I take on the stress. I can't drink tequila, but no, I mean, it's really the same thing. It's really just about how you guide them and how you calm them down and how you just keep them focused on the bigger picture.
Yeah, so that's something that I kind of talk about a lot, is that at the end of the day, we are the experts and our clients feed off our energy. So if they're freaking out about something, I mean, it could be something as
cool and collective.
Yeah, you have
See,
to say.
I am the most down to earth person.
But I feel that most people in the business, instead of staying calm, cool, and collected, they mirror them.
Yeah.
Which in sales you're taught to mirror people, which I think is an absolutely terrible thing to do, especially when that person is freaking out.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's something that you cover with your agents as well.
I feel like my thing is if it's not going to work out, then it's not going to. Like, everything is supposed to happen for a reason. So, if the deal doesn't work out in the end, you never know what it's for. It could be for the best.
Yeah.
So.
And you don't force something that isn't going to,
of course not.
which I see,
and
by
I think
the
that's
way,
why
a lot.
a lot of my clients do love me and gravitate me and, continue using me, because I'm not that pushy person. Like, I tell them, make sure it feels right for you before you want to put in an offer, and don't just put in an offer because you just want to move.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that. Ashley, so learning from Ashley, obviously, because she was in the business, she was a little bit more experienced than me. It's definitely something that we've learned to do. You go by feeling, you go by human desire, I guess, and
you do it as if you were yourself.
Yeah, and
to buy something
to
yourself.
give someone
when
advice.
You walk into a car dealership and you get hounded, I get aggravated.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk away, and
Which is why people don't really go to car dealerships anymore.
Yeah. So.
And going back to how we were talking about the market shift and agents, whether you weather the storm or not, that's what makes you a good agent through these market shifts. So, not mirroring their anxiety or their nervousness and being calm and cool and collective is what is getting us our deals done. That's what's continuing to get us clients. That's what's continuing for us to close deals, and, constantly doing that, weathering the storm. So we're staying there. We're sticking by their side. We're answering their phone calls when they're nervous or freaking out about how their payment jumped $1,000 over the last 6 months because we couldn't find them a home. You sit there and you weather the storm. You empathize with them. You don't, it's hard to say it's okay, you're going to spend $1,000, because nobody wants to hear that. No, it's $1,000 more. How could I afford that? Again, so you step back and you kind of readjust, or you can kind of recommend, hey, let's stop for a second, pause, let's not freak out. Let's go about this a different way. Maybe this house isn't for you. Maybe now is not the right time. Let's rewind. Let's look for another property at a different value. Something that you can afford. We do this to build their trust, and then when they are ready to make that move, they know they can trust us for anything at that point. So it's not just us getting the deal closed and making money and seeing you later. It's about building that relationship with them. As you're taught as a salesperson, it's all about obviously mirroring and all the building a relationship, but we harp on that. We harp on the relationship part.
Get that relationship there first.
That's the most important for us.
But to me, that's not sales. That's just being a decent human being and communicating with someone. Like, I honestly find that all the sales skills, it doesn't really apply. It's just listen to what the person wants and needs and communicate how you can help them with that.
Exactly.
Because so what you, to kind of summarize, Mike, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, it's like you're basically just doing that. You're listening to them and you're helping them come up with a game plan. Whereas, and the reason why I asked that question, by the way, is because I speak to a lot of people in the business that are basically freaking out, slowing down. They're not getting deals in. Buyers are backing out, they're losing a lot of people. You're not having those issues. So the secret sauce really from
Don't
yeah.
jinx me. Don't jinx me.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I haven't looked at my
guys-
phone in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, airplane mode. You're continuing to have success, again, just from listening to you, because you're not shying away from that conversation, and you're helping them come up with a game
It's all
plan and
about
execute
solutions.
it. Yeah, it's solutions. But most people in the business are like, the market's tough right now. Yeah, I'll call you in a year. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully it's down. But meanwhile, in a year, home prices could be even higher. They
Mm-hmm.
may appreciate another. I mean, again, not 10%, but maybe 3 to 6.
Yeah.
You never know. And then that person in a year from now would have been like, I wish you
I
guys
was
freaking
like that.
told me.
Yeah.
I wish you,
Yeah.
educated me, not push, but educated me, gave me kind of that reality check. Because again, it's another year that they're renting, that they're, not to say, I don't like the saying that renting is a waste of money because you're paying for something, but we know you're not building equity, you're not taking advantage of those financials. So simple, just coach them.
Yeah, weather the storm. That's really, at that point, empathize and weather the storm. That's really what we're doing, and it's helping. Like I said, we build that relationship, so it
Give
really
options. There's
really
always
helps.
options, no matter what you do in life, whether it's real estate, like whatever it is. There's always other options to go to. And not everybody knows those options. So
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. And same
Don't-
as
don't-
you
don't
too, to
assume
kind of
the
provide
client
them.
knows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to present
Even though
them.
they may know,
Yeah, I mean,
some
look,
people know
the
everything.
know-it-alls.
But
yeah,
They don't.
you get a ton of those. I mean, but it's like you said, even with us, clients will just come at us with one specific thought. Ben, I want to do a 20-year loan. Meanwhile, they're like, I only want to do a 20-year. It was a weird thing, actually. This happened yesterday. It's like they were adamant about doing a 20. And I was like, why? It's like, because the rate's a little bit better. And I'm like, yeah, the rate's better, but it's not nearly as flexible. So why don't you just, for instance, take a 30-year loan and pay it as if it's a 20? This way your payment's cheaper and you have the same flexibility.
Yeah.
Or you have more
you're
flexibility.
building more equity. You're putting it into it.
But that's simple. Like, most people just are kind of order takers, and I feel that what the past 2 years has done to people in the business is a bad thing, because we've gotten lazy and people have just, again, become order takers and not actual advisors. So
They're
it's
so
like,
used to getting those listings, and those listings selling, or getting those buyers, and those buyers buying because the rates are so low.
yeah, and we're going to see a lot of people out of the business over the next 6 to 12 months. On the mortgage side, we've already seen it tremendously. There's been layoffs like absolute crazy. It's been bad. Here at Madison Mortgage, we haven't fired anyone though, and we're actually looking to continue hiring. So reach out. But what do you guys see in terms of, like, do you see the same kind of thing, that people are leaving the business?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
110%.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's welcomed.
But that to
Survival of the
me is
fittest.
also like going back to like your brokerage and your coaching and your mentor too, because not everybody has that push to push them and kind of like weather them through the storm.
Yeah, keep them calm.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's okay.
Calm and
that,
working. Like
yeah,
you need to work.
that is the
like you can't just like
theme.
sit there and expect your phone to ring. Like you have to go out there. You have to work. You have to put yourself out there.
But for a lot of people, it hasn't been that way the past 2 years. So
Yeah, it's
now that
been
they
easy.
have to actually get up and go and hustle, people have forgotten or
They're
don't
scared
even
of
know
it.
how to do that. Like, I genuinely feel bad for the people that entered the business in the past
During
2
it.
years,
Oh, yeah.
because like I entered the business in 2013, I think, and business was slow and we had to fight for every single deal, especially when you're new. But learning that grit and going back to that grit, because that's what we're going back to over the past 6 months now, it's easy. But when you've only known easy, it's
You don't
hard.
know
It's
how to
hard to
do it.
teach that.
Very hard.
Yeah, like
Very
how do
hard.
you even teach your agents, Ash? Like, because they've been spoiled. What do you tell them? Like, just grind.
I don't. Honestly, I don't even know.
I think it's hard for her to say, but I think she sticks to her basic trainings and what I've seen, because she does have new agents that work for her and they're doing fantastic.
Yeah, one of my girls
yeah.
just got 3 accepted off.
And she's a new
last
agent. She's,
week and a half, yeah.
and she's doing really well. And I think, sticking to her trainings, I think that's really what it comes down to. And, just repetitive. I mean, obviously 2 years ago when you got a listing, it was gone the next day. It was easy. You had an open house. You had 100 offers.
We have weekly calls every Monday, and every Monday it's always, what clients are you working with? What are you doing to work with those clients? How can I help you? you know, so like there is that push every week, and like I do have that follow-up every week to see like where everybody is and what they need help with and what they're doing. That way they're not just sitting there and, you know, just
waiting for things to come.
Yeah.
You said one of your agents recently said 3 deals into contract over the past week.
Well, 2 in contract, 1's about to be.
Amazing. Okay. How long have they been in the business?
So she started not even a year ago, and she was with another company, and she didn't do anything with that company, and then I brought her on, and she's been with me for like 3 months.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Something like that.
Because I think the average is for a new agent is like 1 or 2 deals. And I find that an agent will enter the business with a very specific listing. It's like they know that their grandmother is looking to sell, and then beyond that they have nothing to do. Yeah. So, I mean, without giving away all the secrets, what was for this agent, how did they go about getting that business? Was it Zillow? Was it Sphere? Mix of everything?
A mix of everything. Yeah.
And
it's really just all about follow up. Like I tell them, like just like with her, like I tell everybody, you know, like just because you get 3 accepted offers or whatever the case may be, that doesn't give you a reason to stop, because you never know if those are even going to close. So
good point.
You know, you have to put that out there, especially if like real estate's the only thing that they're doing and they're not doing anything else, you know, to get money. So
I think
you have no choice but to keep pushing yourself.
You have to. And like my mindset, I try and maintain this mindset as much as I can, as if I have 0 business. Like
that's what you have to do.
Yeah, even if you've got 100 deals in the pipeline, you can't just assume they're all going to close. They could die for whatever reason. Something could happen with, like I had a transaction that isn't dead, but halfway through the transaction, speaking of dead, the seller unfortunately passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, and the person buying it is a very close person to me as well, and I feel really bad for them. And now they were going to close in, I think, the end of July. Now it's realistically going to be in September at the earliest by the time it passes through the courts. Like, things happen. Murphy's Law really comes about in real estate. And again, just prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Don't stop.
So, yeah. So any other things? We covered a lot. Any advice for, again, we talked about buyers, sellers. What about agents? We can kind of wrap up with this, guys. Advice other than just joining DeLux.
Join DeLux.
I was just gonna say that.
Well, actually, you know what? Tell everyone, where are you guys located, by the way? Where are you located?
We're located in Hartsdale right now.
Okay, right now.
Right now.
I got it. Okay, and any
Westchester, but just because we're in Westchester, some of my girls are in Dutchess County, they're in Putnam County, you know, we do Rockland County, we do everywhere.
New Fairfield.
Yeah, we live in the Bronx, Connecticut, we're all over.
And you don't just accept anyone. You want particular, like we were saying before, go-getters, hustlers. They'll keep you accountable.
That we will, with the hammer.
Yeah, you got to be a
shovel.
I'm going to get you like a gold hammer or something.
Don't do that, because I'll get hit with it. One day I'm going to come here and I'm going to have a bruise on my head because I got hit with it.
I guess you're a rubber one. So, all right. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on. This has been fantastic. We'll do another
episode 2
sure,
with the reveal.
Sure. Yes. And again, Ashley and Michael Uva of DeLux Real Estate. how is it running a brokerage which you've had for 6 months now as a mother, and you've got another one on the way? Congratulations,
Thank you.
guys. How's that been for you? Because that's not easy.
It's not. It's a lot, I will say, but I don't regret anything of it. Having my own brokerage, and not even just that, but just kind of like being a realtor in general, like where you can do your own schedule. Like I can take my son out for the day. So I love that. I mean, when you do that, it does catch up to you later on or like the next day or whatever, but I make it work.
And Mike, what about you? How did you jump in?
So I have a background in architecture. While I was in school for architecture, I had a business. I owned a florist, so I kind of knew what it was like to be my own boss. That being said, I had sold that business to pursue another business, and in the meantime, I had a family friend who was in real estate. She worked for Century 21.
What are you seeing in different behavioral patterns in buyers and sellers these days?
As far as sellers, they are expecting their house to go in the next couple of days. As far as us working on it, I mean, it's really just the marketing that you do, the phone calls that you make, who you know, who you reach out to. As far as buyers, I feel like buyers are actually trying to rush to buy and close their contracts,
Really?
everything in contract, because they don't want their rates going up. So it's working
That's
for
good.
me.
What are even the most common, I wouldn't say objections, but issues that people are really giving you when it comes to buying or selling now, and what are you telling them to kind of keep them calm?
Clients that I was working with, as far as buyers, that we were going like very competitive, you know, highest and best. Now that we are finally getting accepted offers, they're terrified, absolutely terrified. Like they're like, is this real? Like, what do I do? Like, you know, it's panic, but I kind of just guide them the same way as I do with my agents. Like it's all normal, you know.
Just keep them calm.
Yeah.
Just
Basically.
relax. How do you even teach your agents, Ash, like, because they've been spoiled? What do you tell them? Like, just grind?
I don't honestly, I don't even know.
I think it's hard for her to say, but I think she sticks to her basic trainings and what I've seen, because she does have new agents that work for her and they're doing fantastic.
Yeah, one of my girls
yeah.
got 3 accepted offers.
And she's a new agent. She's,
week and a half,
you know,
yeah.
and she's doing really well. And I think, sticking to her trainings, I think that's really what it comes down to. And, just repetitive. I mean, obviously 2 years ago when you got a listing, it was gone the next day. It was easy. You had an open house. You had 100 offers.
We have weekly calls every Monday, and every Monday it's always, what clients are you working with? What are you doing to work with those clients? How can I help you? So like there is that push every week, and like I do have that follow up every week to see like where everybody is and what they need help with and what they're doing.